Hello, I'm David Hughes. Welcome to Your Perfect Body, the podcast of the Esoteric Teaching Community. Today's selection is an essay entitled Two Sides of the Teaching. There are two sides of this esoteric teaching. One side is what we accept, and the other side is what we do not accept. Acceptance and rejection, yes and no, are both parts of this teaching. Not that we try to accept everything or believe in everything, no. Some so-called spiritual teachers, they try to be positive about everything, see everything as a path to God. But to believe in everything is to believe in nothing. It is disempowering and ultimately leads nowhere. We are very clear about what we believe in and what we reject. This is good intelligence. For example, according to military science, before a battle, first of all, one must accurately estimate the military strength of the opposite side. This is called intelligence, for good reason. One should assess the opposing elements, where they are strong, how they are arranging their resources, and then one should calculate how to counteract, how to fight and defeat them. This is intelligence, military intelligence. Without making any estimation of the opposing side, if we are not prepared for their strategy, then how can we become victorious? An intelligent man not only thinks of the bright side of his business, but of all the many possibilities he may have to deal with. Similarly, in other areas of life, we should not calculate only the bright side. There is the dark side also. We should always think, if there is some thief, if there are some rogues, they may try to cheat us, then what precaution can I take? This is intelligence. If I simply calculate the bright side, that in this business I will make so much profit, in the meantime somebody may come and cheat me, then what will I do? People are envious, and we have to be prepared for this possibility. Therefore, the dark side should also be considered. That is intelligence. Considering and calculating the dark side, the possible actions of the enemy, how they can attack us at any moment, that is the dark side. If we do not understand the ways of the dark side, how can we defend against it? Recently, somebody was criticizing that you're introducing this esoteric teaching. People are becoming caught by your cult. Simply they study Bhagavad Gita and chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, as if this is a bad thing. So I replied that you will see the power of this movement in due course of time. There are 26 qualifications of a bona fide initiate of the esoteric teaching. And out of these 26, one qualification is daksha, expert. The esoteric teaching is not shallow or one-sided. Vedic wisdom, the absolute truth, is all-pervading. Similarly, the esoteric teaching is also all-pervading. It touches everything, even economics, politics, sociology, art, everything, as required to attain its aims. Because the mission of this esoteric teaching is twofold. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Bhagavad Gita 4:8. There are two missions, not only to give protection to the devotees, but also to neutralize and defeat the demons. So the students of the esoteric teaching are trained up in both ways, to give protection to the devotees, to encourage them, and also to neutralize the demons and defeat false, demoniac, so-called spiritual teachings. As we have discussed recently, the demons are envious of everyone. They want to prevent the living entities from enjoying their spiritual birthright of a peaceful and happy life in God's kingdom. Therefore, they spread so many lies, false teachings in the guise of spirituality. They are wolves in sheep's clothing. And if you accept these false teachings out of ignorance, then your spiritual progress is ruined and your whole life is spoiled, useless. So besides our positive teachings, another side of our mission is to expose and defeat these tactics of the demons. And this side is just as important as the positive side. This is the esoteric teaching. It is not for cowards, for those who are afraid to say no. It is a spiritual battle against ignorance and the demoniac mentality. A student of the esoteric teaching is non-violent. By nature, an intelligent person is non-violent. But we are prepared to fight on the philosophical platform against wrong conceptions of spiritual life, against the damaging influence of false teachings. Our mission is an open secret. Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya chadushkritam. It's right there in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 8. There are two main aims of the esoteric teaching, two sides. So students of the esoteric teaching should be trained up both ways, and they should be prepared to fight to defend the truth. There is no question of unnecessary violence, but we are outspoken against the false teachings that hold people back from authentic self-realization. For example, let's consider yoga. If you go down to the local yoga studio, what will they teach you? Well, come in, sit down, and let's do these exercises together. And maybe they teach you a little bit of breathing also. Okay, exercises. Those are called asana. And the breathing is called pranayama. They usually don't pronounce it properly, but that's what it's called. Anyway, asana and pranayama. Are these part of the original yoga teaching? Well, ask them. What will they say? Our teaching is derived from the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Okay, let's go back and check Patanjali. Well, what does he say? Patanjali says there are 8 limbs. Ashtanga means 8 limbs. Ashtanga Yoga means 8 limbs or 8 different procedures for attaining yoga. And what are those 8? Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So, if one begins from asana, well, what happened to yama niyama? You see? They're not teaching the steps in the proper order. So how can they say they're actually following Patanjali? They're not. They're making up their own approach to the subject and using Patanjali's good name as a reference. But actually, real yoga begins from yama niyama. Well, what is yama niyama? Yama means a positive instruction, and niyama means a negative instruction, what you accept and what you reject. Just exactly the title of our essay today. Isn't that a coincidence? So yama and niyama are required before one can properly execute asana, pranayama, and so on. Well, what is yama niyama? Yama, positive affirmations. The first thing is acceptance of a bona fide spiritual master. What does that mean? Bona fide spiritual master is someone who is situated in the chain of disciplic succession from the original author of the Vedic literatures, Vyasadeva. There are 4 legitimate disciplic lineages descending from Vyasadeva down to the present day. And these four are known as the Vedic Vaishnava Parampara, or disciplic lineages. Now, of these four, only